The transfer window has officially shut down and Manchester United have signed a holding midfielder that we have been needing for past 2 years. After 2 years of Mcfred, the Brazilian 5 times Champions League winner Casemiro is finally here. But how Erik ten Hag will set up Manchester United and how Casemiro will fit into that system, we're gonna look into it. But before this video starts, I would like to say a massive thank you to Autograph House for providing this hand-signed Brandon Williams kit. This is 100% authentic, and the best part about it, it comes with a certificate of authenticity, so the signatures are all real. If you want to get your hands on this, then the link is in the description below, and if you are from the UK, then you can call on this number, it is also in the description below. And now this is the time to look how Erik ten Hag will set up Manchester United. At Ajax, Erik ten Hag set up his team in 4-2-3-1, 4-3-3 and 4-4-2 diamond. But looking at the team we have, it will be mainly 4-2-3-1 or 4-3-3. But it doesn't really matter how it looks on paper because the principles will remain the same. Erik ten Hag is a possession-based manager. At Ajax, when Sebastian Haller was signed, he always had an option to go long, but which was rarely used. As I said before, Erik ten Hag is a possession-based manager. He will always try to play out from the back. When there is one opposition striker pressing, there will be no problem, as Erik ten Hag can play out from the back with his 2 central defenders and the goalkeeper. When there are 2 strikers pressing, things get tricky. If this happens against Pep Guardiola, what Pep does is to get his defensive midfielder back and make a 3-2 advantage to roll the ball around. But Erik ten Hag is a little similar to Pep Guardiola, and still he is a little different. And why won't they be similar? They both worked at Bayern Munich when Pep was coaching the first team and Erik ten Hag was coaching the second team. Against the 2-man pressing system, what Erik ten Hag likes is to get a back 3. This back 3 can contain of left back, center back, or center back, DM and center back, or it can be center back, right back. It doesn't really matter which 3 players play, but there will be always this diamond of back 3 when building up. If a defensive midfielder drops in the back 3, the box-to-box midfielder will cover up that space and it will be easier to build us from the back. And we saw this in pre-season against Aston Villa. Fred drops into the defense, Marcus Rashford and Jadon Sancho makes a run behind the line, Fred plays a long ball over the top, Sancho plays it to Rashford and it gets in as an own goal. But this is Erik ten Hag is all about. You will have a direct play, tempo will be controlled, short pass, long pass, everything will be there and there will be chemistry, fluidity, and it is absolutely joy to watch. But let's get back to the point, what if the deep lying box-to-box midfielder gets marked again? Then one of the fullbacks come into the midfield and they play as inverted fullback. And if you might have seen this tactic before, then yes, you guessed it right. Another bald manager from the Manchester uses these tactics. Inverted fullbacks aren't nothing new, but the way Erik ten Hag uses it, it is a little bit different. Sometimes it can be Diogo Dalot, sometimes it can be Tyrell Malacia, or sometimes it can be both. And this is the main structure how Erik ten Hag builds up from the back. If a fullback plays as an inverted fullback and comes into midfield, then that space left by fullback is always taken by the winger. And this is from where a long ball from a centre back to a winger is always open. We have seen this a lot of time when Harry Maguire or Victor Lindelof played that long ball over the top in pre-season, but right now it's Lisandro Martinez and Rafael Varane, and they have played those long balls over the top as well. But what if a fullback follows that winger as well? Then a striker or an advanced playmaker can always make those runs in space left by a fullback and the long ball will still be open. So it is always tricky how Erik ten Hag sets up the team according to the opposition and their tactics, but it will be clear that Erik ten Hag will always want a ball. If you look against Brentford, they pressed with 2 strikers and Eriksen was man-marked. Here David De Gea tried to play that ball to Eriksen and the ball was won back and Brentford scored their second. But with Casemiro, I think he will be able to hold up that man and we will be able to play a little bit easier. If you look at this position right now, if this is a mistake of David De Gea and Christian Eriksen, this is a mistake of Fred as well. I'm not blaming him for this goal totally, but this is not the place where Fred should have been. He should have dropped back, make it a double pivot and help United to play through Brentford's press. And we saw that against Leicester. United were pretty fluid and McTominay and Eriksen double pivot was working really well. With Casemiro in this team, he will be able to do the job of the double pivot alone, and it will allow the second midfielder to have more freedom and it will be more like a 4-3-3 rather than 4-2-3-1. When the ball is progressed and we are into the final third, it doesn't matter how opposition team sets up defensively, there will be one common principle, and that is making the number 10s. So if you are a left winger, advanced playmaker, striker, or even a box-to-box midfielder, it is always necessary for Erik ten Hag to find that space between the lines. And this is the main principle why Erik ten Hag is always successful with the ball. His midfielders are always creative, intelligent, and technically good to find that space, control the ball, and then play that ball behind the defensive line. Right now Manchester United have Donny van de Beek, Bruno Fernandes, Christian Eriksen, but if Juan Mata was here, he would have nailed this position. When the ball is progressed, the fullbacks provide the width and wingers come narrow to play as number 10. So it is important for Erik ten Hag, whether you are advanced playmaker, striker, wingers, or even the box-to-box midfielder, you have to find that space between the lines. So it doesn't matter if the opposition defends in 4-2-3-1, 5-3-2, 4-4-2 or any other formation, there will be half pocket of space between the midfield and defensive line. And this is where Erik ten Hag's side can be a little bit exposed. When there are teams that defend really low and they don't leave any sort of space between the lines, Erik ten Hag tries to commit 7, 8 or even 9 players, leaving only one defense and goalkeeper back. And we saw that against Brentford as well. United were 3-0 down, and despite of 3-0 down, United were trying to attack with like even 7 or 8 man, and Brentford wins the ball back, the counter press doesn't work, and one ball over the top, and Brentford scored their 4th on the counter attack. And this is where I think Casemiro will come in handy. He will be alone there to make those tactical fouls or break up the play and help Erik ten Hag's side to concede lesser goal on counter attacks. When the opposition have ball, Erik ten Hag likes to defend in 4-2-3-1 mainly. But in the first 5 games and pre-season, we have seen that he likes to defend in 4-4-2. But this 4-4-2 might change into 4-2-3-1 when Casemiro settles down. 4-4-2 is a solid formation when you want to defend. It leaves no space whatsoever, and it is really easy to defend in the middle of the park and on the wings. And you have 2 strikers who can easily press for the counter attack. But Erik ten Hag likes to defend in 4-2-3-1 mainly. What it does, it creates a solid double pivot in the middle of the park. It breaks down any sort of play if they try to build up from the center. And if the ball is won, then United will have 4 players ready for the counter attack. This shape also allows you to press quite effectively well. If the ball is played at the back, then you have 4 players ready on their toes. And this is the main difference what will happen if Casemiro settles down well. United will be effective in pressing, winning the ball back higher up the pitch, and the opponents will be really scared to have the ball at their feet because players like Jadon Sancho, Antony, Martial, Cristiano Ronaldo, Bruno Fernandes will always be at their toes to snatch that ball and make them regret having the possession. And there you have it, my friends. I hope you understood how Erik ten Hag sets up his Manchester United system. There will be a long time when Erik ten Hag gets all of his players. It's gonna take 3 or 4 transfer window. He has been backed, but we have not signed his top target, Frankie de Jong. We missed out on him. We don't have a backup for Rashford. We have Martial and Cristiano Ronaldo in front. We do sign Antony, and he will have a massive impact being that left-footed right winger that we always wanted. And there will be exciting times ahead. We have beaten Liverpool. If you enjoyed this video, if you think you learned something new, why don't you leave a like and subscribe to this channel. If you want to see anything more about Erik ten Hag's system or a particular player, let me know in the comment section below. And until then, I'm signing off. I'll see you soon in the next one. Peace.